Have you ever felt the weight of giving your all time, kindness, energy, only to be met with indifference? In the mirror of the psyche, as Carl Jung might say, those who undervalue you reflect not your worth but their own shadows. Today, we'll explore 7 unflinching yet effective methods to reclaim your value from those who fail to see it. Join us on this journey with the story Unveiled, to uncover truths that will reshape your relationships and awaken your inner strength. Do you know what's worse than betrayal in relationships? It's not even betrayal itself. It's the habit of tolerating those who don't value you. People who for years take advantage of your kindness, your time, your resources, and in return offer only indifference or even mockery. I've been there myself. There were people I considered friends. I helped them, supported them, stood by them. Then one day I realized, to them, I was just a convenient option. Today, we'll break down 7 tough but effective methods for dealing with those who don't value you. This isn't just theory, it works in our reality, where thank you is often forgotten and kindness is taken for granted. We live in a society where tolerating mistreatment is almost seen as a virtue. Don't hold a grudge, they say. Forgive, they're a good person. That's just how life is. Sounds familiar, right? But here's the problem. The more you tolerate, the less you're respected. And these aren't just my words. Carl Jung said, "What you do not make conscious controls your life." If you spend years ignoring that feeling of being undervalued, it's not humility, it's self-deception. Sooner or later, it spills over into resentment, depression, or even illness. So, let's dive into all the methods and strategies for dealing with those who don't value you to radically improve your life. The first step is the simplest and the hardest at the same time. Stop being available. This method is called contact cutoff. Stop giving them bonuses. Stop doing things that make you convenient. Cancel the help, the gifts, the emotional support. People often only start valuing you when they lose the privileges they took for granted. Stop texting first. Stop calling just because. And of course, don't offer help unless they ask for it. I've tested this. 80% of such people won't even notice you've disappeared. But those who do notice will start behaving differently. If they used you as a free taxi, say, "Sorry, I can't today," without explanation. If they leaned on you emotionally as a therapist, stop being their psychologist for free. If they only reached out when they needed something, now you're perpetually busy. As I said, 80% of these people won't even notice you're gone, they'll just find another convenient person. And that's a great filter. Now you know exactly who didn't value you. But about 20%, those are the ones who might say, "What's going on? You've disappeared." Those are the ones you can work with. They might actually start respecting you. The thing is, people only value what they can lose. As long as you're always available, you're like air to them, invisible but necessary. The moment you disappear, they either suffocate and start valuing you or find another source of air. And if they do, you have nothing to regret. If this feels like manipulating people, it's not. It's about setting boundaries. If someone truly cares about you, they'll notice your absence. If they don't, well, you've just cleared space for those who will value you for real. The second method for dealing with those who don't value you is to compare their behavior to others. Let's do a simple experiment. Think about how this person interacts with those they truly respect. With their boss, they're polite, attentive, always available. With important people, they smile, keep the conversation going, show up on time. But with you, they reply with one-word answers, forget things that matter to you. Now ask yourself one question. Would my friend or partner treat someone they respect this way? If the answer is no, it's not your fault, it's their choice. You're not being too demanding. They're consciously choosing how to treat you. Why does this method work? Because it stops you from deceiving yourself. Before, you might have made excuses. They're just like that, or maybe I did something wrong. Now you see the truth. They behave differently with others. They're capable of respect, but choose not to show it to you. You switch to cold calculation instead of emotions. It hurts, yes, but now you have facts, not guesses. As Jung said, What remains unconscious controls us. What we make conscious, we control. Stop waiting for these people to change. If they can be attentive but don't bother with you, that's a deliberate choice. Start investing your energy in those who reciprocate. In our culture, we often hear, "A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush." But if that bird is someone who doesn't value you, maybe it's better to let it go and find those who will truly cherish you. I used to think, just a little more, and they'll see how important I am. Then I noticed how these same people transformed around those they deemed better than me. That's when it hit me. It's not that I'm not good enough for them, they're not good enough for me. Since then, I've followed a simple rule. If someone puts you last in their life, don't give them even a small piece of yours. Have you ever noticed how differently people treat you compared to others? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. The third method is the quiet exit. Distance yourself without unnecessary words. The strangest thing? The more you try to explain to people that they've hurt you, the less they understand. They either dismiss it, "Come on, you're overreacting," or get defensive, "You're so sensitive," or they pretend to get it, but a week later, it's the same old story. So, I'm going to share the most powerful yet quiet way to show someone they're losing you without arguments, lectures, or endless "let's talk" sessions. Just start fading away. Before, you were the one texting, "How's it going?" Now, wait for them to reach out. You used to suggest meeting up. Let them take the initiative. You kept conversations alive. Now, reply briefly but politely. You stop being their emotional donor. If they complain about their life, change the subject. If they want advice, say, "I'm not the best person to ask about this." If they expect you to entertain them, say, "Sorry, I'm not in the mood to chat." If you're truly important to them, they'll seek you out. If not, they won't even notice you're gone. And trust me, that's better than pointless confrontations. In our culture, there's a bad habit. If you're hurt, you're supposed to explain why. People even shame you when they're in the wrong, saying things like, "Don't be so touchy." But don't listen to them. Think about it. Will someone who's undervalued you for years suddenly understand after one conversation? They knew they were ignoring your feelings, they just found it convenient. Silence isn't weakness. It's a test. Can they survive without your attention? And for you, can you live without their indifference? Spoiler, you absolutely can. I had a friend, 14 years of friendship. I was always the one asking how he was, congratulating him on his birthday, suggesting meetups. One day I decided, enough. I stopped reaching out. A month passed, then 2, then a year. He never wrote. That's when I realized it wasn't friendship, it was my illusion. The reality? I was simply forgotten. What if they ask, "Why'd you disappear?" Don't justify yourself or say, "I was busy." That gives them an excuse to think you're still on the hook. Instead say, "It just happened," and change the subject. Watch their reaction. If they genuinely care, they might deserve a chance. If they vanish again, they were just curious, not invested. Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate what matters to you." If your quiet exit doesn't make them fear losing you, they emotionally left your life long ago. Now you have a choice. Keep chasing them or turn toward those who meet you halfway. The fourth method is the mirror method. Start treating people exactly as they treat you, not rudely, but as a reflection. Don't text if they don't. Don't ask about their life if they don't ask about yours. Imagine every person as a mirror. They reflect back exactly what you show them. If you've tolerated their indifference for years, no wonder they're used to undervaluing you. Today, we flip that dynamic. You become their mirror. How does it work? Simple. Stop giving more than you receive. If they text once a month, reply just as rarely. If they forget to ask how you're doing, don't ask about them. If they cancel plans last minute, suddenly you're busy too. Stop being convenient. Before, you adjusted to their schedule. Now, it's only when it suits you. You used to forgive rudeness. Now, say, "Sorry, that's not how you talk to me." This makes them feel what it's like to be in your shoes. Why is this more effective than silence? There's a saying in our culture, you reap what you sow, but people forget it works both ways. If they don't call, they don't see you as important. If they don't thank you, they take your help for granted. If they don't support you in tough times, they're only interested in their own gain. The mirror just shows them the truth. I had an acquaintance. We talked for years. I always asked how she was, supported her, helped out. She replied when it suited her. One day I decided, fine, I'll respond the way she does. The first month she didn't notice. The second, she started texting more. By the third, she asked, "Why are you so cold now?" I said, "I'm just acting the way you do." She got upset at first, then reflected. 6 months later, she started reaching out first. Not always, but far more often. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows people who they are. But if they see their reflection and don't want to change, that's their choice. Your choice is to stop wasting energy on them. Don't get angry or feel guilty. They might say, "You've changed." Just reply, "No, I just stopped being someone you could take advantage of." If the mirror doesn't work, they can't see themselves clearly and they'll never change. Jung said, "We meet in others only what exists in ourselves." But it works the other way too. If someone sees you as a friend, they'll act like one. If they see you as convenient, they'll use you. Become their mirror, and you'll see exactly what you are to them. This method has worked for me for years. Have you tried it? Did it work? Share in the comments, I'd love to discuss. The fifth method is substitution. Replace people-pleasing with reciprocity. Stop investing in those who don't give back. Stop pouring your energy, time, and emotions into people who take your kindness for granted. Instead, channel that energy into those who value you without manipulation. If someone doesn't reciprocate, it's not your fault, it's their choice. But you decide whether to keep fueling one-sided relationships. Instead of pleasing those who don't value you, focus on reciprocity. Invest only in those who invest in you. This isn't selfishness, it's wisdom. Ask yourself, does this person take initiative? Do they care about your needs as much as you care about theirs? Have you become the convenient person they use? Push those who take without giving to the edges of your life. Redirect your time and energy to people who celebrate your successes, to pursuits that bring you joy, to yourself, because you deserve the same care you give others. Don't explain or justify. You don't owe anyone an announcement that you've stopped investing. Just act. Become less available. Stop initiating meetups or help. If they ask for something, sometimes say no without guilt. Watch their reaction. True relationships will shine through. If they notice the change and ask what's wrong, that's a chance for an honest conversation. If they disappear or get offended, they only valued what you gave. One-sided relationships drain you like a black hole. The more you give, the more they expect. Reciprocity builds healthy connections with respect, gratitude, and genuine joy for each other. Carl Jung once said, "The greatest trap for a person is their unconscious relationships." Have you noticed how often we cling to people who stopped valuing us long ago, tolerating their coldness, excusing their indifference? It's because we fear facing the truth. If they don't reciprocate, you're not important to them. Jung called this the shadow of relationships, when one gives and the other only takes. The longer you allow this, the more your soul starts to believe you don't deserve better. But here's the truth. Your worth doesn't depend on those who can't see it. As a psychologist and the creator of the story Unveiled, I'll say it again. If you're not valued, it's not a flaw in your heart, it's their blindness. Jung offered a simple algorithm. Realize, does this person truly not value me, or is it just my perception? Write down 3 examples. Have a conversation not with accusations, but observations. I've noticed my efforts go unanswered. Why is that? If nothing changes after the talk, step back, not with anger, but with dignity. Yes, it hurts, but the pain of letting go is nothing compared to years of quiet humiliation. Even if you lose a friend, so what? Jung would say, You're not losing a friend, you're making space for those who will take you seriously. The world is full of people who won't understand you, and that's okay. They have the right not to value you. But there are others who will see you as the sun, and they're worth living for. As Jung said, the best thing you can do for those who undervalue you is to stop being part of their lives and start a new chapter for yourself. The sixth method is the open conversation. Speak directly about the problem, face to face. For example, if you've noticed your efforts go unnoticed, it's important to address it so things can change. If they don't respond, that's a signal to act, as in method 3. Imagine this. For months, you've been helping a neighbor fixing their car, signing documents, but when you need help, they're suddenly too busy. Sound familiar? In our culture, especially in places like Russia and the former USSR, we often bottle up resentment because it feels awkward to speak up. Then we explode over nothing or take it out on loved ones at home. I've been through this. I tolerated people who didn't value me for years. Then I stopped and started having open conversations. Speak directly without vague phrases face to face. Let's be real, if you don't want to help, just say so. It feels like I'm always there for you, but you're not for me. There are 3 likely outcomes with decent people. First, they apologize and change. These people are worth keeping. Second, they make excuses. What? I didn't mean it. That's a warning sign. Third, they don't get it or blame you. That's when you apply method 3, distance. As Jung said, what remains unconscious controls us. As long as you stay silent, the situation will repeat. From my experience, when I started speaking directly without aggression, but without groveling, about 50% of people treated me better. The rest? That was their choice. In our culture, we're often told to endure, but endurance doesn't mean silence. You can and should speak up about what bothers you. That's how healthy relationships are built. If nothing changes after an honest conversation, then it's time to act more decisively, which we'll cover in future content on the story Unveiled. The 7th method, which will undoubtedly help, is leaving without regrets. At some point, you'll face the toughest but most liberating step. Just walk away. I remember holding on to relationships where I was taken for granted, thinking, maybe if I endure a bit longer, they'll change. Those thoughts kept me up at night until I realized nothing was changing. Even after honest conversations and attempts to fix things, if they stay the same, it means one thing: they want it that way. In our culture, especially in post-Soviet countries, we're used to a strange kind of sacrifice. Endure for the sake of relationships. Always forgive. If not you, then who? But Carl Jung said something profound. Where there's no reciprocity, there's no real connection, only habit and dependency. To leave, you need to do it right, without dramatic scenes. You've already said everything in the open conversation. Without guilt, recognize that even negative experiences teach you something. I've walked away from such relationships multiple times, and you know what's surprising? New people quickly filled the space. People who valued my time and kindness from day one. Imagine your life as a book. Some characters appear for a single page. Others stay for a chapter. But only you decide who stays until the final page. Don't be afraid to turn the page. Trust me. New chapters are always more exciting than the old ones you should have ended long ago. If you're scared to take this step, picture yourself a year from now. Will you look back with bitter regret for not leaving sooner, or with quiet relief for finally freeing yourself? Choose wisely, you deserve better. There's an old truth that never loses its power. How you treat yourself is how others will treat you. You don't have to be convenient for everyone. You don't have to tolerate those who don't see you. And you certainly don't have to justify their behavior. Try these methods not for revenge, but for yourself, to finally feel that your time, your emotions, your life are truly valuable. How do you deal with those who don't value you? Share in the comments, let's discuss together. If this video resonated, subscribe to The Story Unveiled for more insights on self-analysis, relationship psychology, and philosophy. Until next time, stay true to your worth.